One said one man during calls her uncle always comes to the house when my son goes to work. She said that it's paining her that Uncle Anefiok doesn't know that the man is sleeping with his wife. As she opened the door, I burst in with my driver and security guy. Our dear uncle was naked in the smoke-filled room with some bottles of drink. Hello, you're welcome to Life Stories with Bussy. You know, in Nigeria, there's always something new. Last week, we added fuel scarcity again to all the issues that we have on ground. I have made a decision that whatever it is that is going on in this country, I will not be tired. Because I find out that every time I go shopping or every time I go and buy fuel, I get really depressed and angry. Like when I'm coming out of the supermarket, I look at the receipts and I'm upset. When I buy fuel, I get upset driving out of the fuel station. But I've decided that I will not be intimidated by Nigerians' problem. I would only do what I can do and buy what I can buy. Right now, I'm beginning to make a lot of adjustments to our food menu. The other day, my son said, "Mommy, we have not had sardine for a while." Sardine. The other one came and said, "Tuna fish too." Tuna. When there's Titus fish, please. See, I've cut off all those kind of things from my shopping list. In fact, right now, I'm trying to eat healthy. So all these canned things, I'm not eating again. Shilton. One day, my son went shopping with me and he was like, "Mommy, we have not bought chicken nuggets." I said, we have bought chicken. Leave the nuggets. We will go and eat the chicken nuggets. Leave it, Because this Nigeria, I've decided that I'm going to be an overcomer no matter what the government throws at me. So whether Naira appreciates or not, me, I am an overcomer. Whether dollar flies up, becomes 2K or comes down, me, I am an overcomer. That's the point where I am right now. On that note, I'd like to encourage you to keep a positive attitude. Because if you don't keep a positive attitude, you're going to be carried away by all the news that you hear flying up and down, and it will affect you. I have decided that, hey, Odeshi, nothing that they are going to say in this country will move me. Keep a positive attitude. I know that you can say to yourself, can things ever get better? Can we ever get out from this doldrum that we have found ourselves in? I believe that it will get better. It might not look like it, but I believe that it will get better. Today, I have another story for you, and I would like us to dive into the story. Today, I have a story from a lady called Mrs. Iang. Mrs. Iang is a mother of 4 children who are married and, are doing very great. They have children and all of that. But she wanted us to know about the experience that she had with her son and a woman that her son had married before. So I'll just go straight into the story. Hello, Bussy. My name is Mrs. Iang. I saw the video you made on the lady who left her husband because of her mother-in-law. I'm a mother-in-law, and I must tell you that not all mother-in-laws are wicked. Let me give you my son's story from a mother's point of view. If his ex writes to you, she will badmouth me and never tell you the things that she did. I'm a mother of 4 children, and my children are all married, and I bless God for their spouses. As a mother, I started praying for my children's spouses from when they were young, because I couldn't have raised my children in a godly way for someone to destroy their lives. I understand that perfectly. They say mother-in-laws are protective and overbearing, but the truth is, most of us just want what is best for our children. Let me tell you, at this point we are, I believe that most parents should carefully pray and try matchmaking their children with children of their friends who they know very well if they can. Because the kind of children who are growing up now, I fear them. I'm a mother, but first I have my own life. I don't poke nose into my married children's affair except I see funny signs. So I suggest all mother-in-laws should get busy. I run many businesses. At the moment, my husband and I are traveling around the world and enjoying ourselves. So I don't have time to breathe down on any of my daughter-in-law. I have 2 of them. Lovely ladies, well brought up from good families. Their families don't have to be wealthy like ours, but our values have to align. I agree. Their caveat: I didn't play the role of matchmaking in any of their relationships. They met and fell in love. We made our investigations and were comfortable with the families and the ladies. My daughter-in-laws know that I love them. They call me anytime and they tell me what to buy for them when I travel. I treat them like my daughters. They come to our house, they sleep on my bed sometimes with me. Sometimes they go to my wardrobe and read it. It's my joy. Sometimes they hint at what my boys have done. And I warn those boys that the way their father treats me so well is the least standard that they have to build on. That's fantastic. Whoops! I love that. Let me get back to this girl my son married traditionally and why he had to break that marriage. My last son was 24 going to 25 when he decided to live alone in one of our apartments on the island because it was close to work. I went to the apartment one day because I have a business that runs in that same building. I have a spare key and I had a workman with me because my son had complained about some leaks in the kitchen and I told him not to use any random workman. I tried to open the door and it wasn't opening. So this lady came to open the door for me. The whole house was filled with the stench of cigarette smoke. And I know that my son wasn't a smoker. The first thing I asked was she the one smoking? She denied it. Then she told me that I couldn't come in because she didn't know who I was. I told her that Anefiok is my son. She greeted me and she allowed me in. The whole place was in a mess. Kitchen filled with unwashed plates, dustbin not taken out. When I was done, I called my son and he said that the lady was his guest. She had accommodation issues and was out of job for now, but she would soon leave. I said okay and minded my business. Then my first daughter said she went to the apartment and the girl, her name is Doreen, was behaving like she owned the place. She told my daughter that her children couldn't go into the room. My daughter couldn't pick things in the kitchen. My daughter stays in Yaba and works on the island. So when her children are on midterm, she brings her nanny to stay with the children in that apartment. Or when she knows that she would have a busy week and her husband, who is a pilot, isn't around, she would stay in that apartment with her nanny and her children. Note that this apartment doesn't belong to my son. It was empty and it was okay for him and his siblings to use it whenever. So even my other son goes there to sleep sometimes. So Doreen, that's the girl, had a major fallout with my daughter. I called my son again. He said it was a misunderstanding and that it had been resolved. Then my second daughter told me that my son and the girl were dating. I called my son and he confirmed that they were dating. I was still trying to be nice. I told him to talk to Doreen, that she can't be rude to his sisters or restrict their movement in their father's house. I tried to make investigation about this girl. She was 27, which means that she was older than my son. She was a school start older, comes from a lowly background, which wasn't really my problem. She moved in with my son from a previous boyfriend's house who was alleged to be a Yahoo boy. I called my son home and I tried to make him see reason with me. He said that the girl Doreen had changed, that she was now a Christian, they go to church together, blah, blah, blah. I left the matter. One day, he brought her over to our house. Yes, she was dressed modestly, but I could still tell there was something dirty about that girl that I couldn't place. I asked her what her plans for the future was. She said that she had been doing jam, but no luck. But she wants to go into business of buying and selling. When they were leaving, I realized that they ordered Uber. And if you had a car, so I asked him what happened. He said something about mechanic. I told him that I could loan him one of my cars, which was my sister at that time. He said that I should send a driver to bring the car to him. When they left, my second daughter told me that Anefiok sold his car. Anefiok had never lied to me. This was a boy who schooled abroad and gave me updates about himself even when I didn't ask. From what I heard, he sold his car and emptied his savings for Doreen to go to Dubai to shop for the things that she would be selling. When I confronted Anefiok, he said that he was just investing in her business and that he would get his money back when she starts making profits. The business went down the drain, by the way. She blamed it on the economy. The next thing Anifiok told me was that Doreen was pregnant and that he would like to go and pay a dowry. Dowry. How? I refused. I said that she would have to come to my hospital for confirmation. They confirmed that she was pregnant. I told Anifiok that we can accept the baby, but we should forget marriage. Anifiok begged. My husband is siblings. I reluctantly agreed, but I was praying that God should reveal things to me. After the introduction, Doreen became the Lord and Master. She will insult my other children if they go to that apartment. There was just unnecessary quarrels between Anifiok and his siblings. He claimed they were looking down on his wife and didn't respect her. Most times I wasn't in the country, like I said. So there was this time that I got back. I went to the store one day and I passed through the back of the house. We have another property behind and the tenants just moved out. So I went to inspect the house and I entered through the adjoining gate. That was when I overheard the girls walking in my store talking about my son's so-called wife. One said one man, Doreen calls her uncle, always comes to the house when my son goes to work. She said that it's paining her that Uncle Anifiok doesn't know that the man is sleeping with his wife. The other one said that every time that she sees Anifiok treating Doreen like an egg, that she just pities him because Doreen is for the streets. I read enough. I walked into the store, I interrogated the girls, I got the information that I needed. I started coming to the shop every day with the intention to catch this so-called uncle. I always used the back gate and I parked my car at the other street behind. I didn't tell Anifiok anything. The day the so-called uncle came again, I called Anifiok to come from work. I told one of the girls to go and knock the door. It took some time for Doreen to open the door. As she opened the door, I burst in with my driver and security guy. Our dear uncle was naked in the smoke-filled room with some bottles of drink. When we got in, I told my girl to do a video, which I have as evidence. Anifiok met us there. I asked him if he knew the man. He said that he had never met the man before. We got the man arrested. The guy confessed that Doreen was his girlfriend. He was responsible for a pregnancy. Then I asked him what was the plan for my son. He said that the plan was for Doreen to get more money from Anifiok. Then when they get enough, they will both run away. Anifiok broke down in tears. Later, Anifiok told me that Doreen used to tell him to shut up and that he had slapped him twice. Bussy, me too. I slapped Anifiok in anger. How can a woman with one leg in your house be doing that and you have been accepting rubbish in the name of love? After that incident, Anifiok was quite heartbroken and he had to go chill abroad for a while. I got a cleaning company that I've used so many times to clean up that apartment. And they called me that they saw calabash with certain things in it under the sink area. And they were asking me what to do with it. Calabash? That apartment was thoroughly cleaned before Anifiok moved in. So where did calabash originate from? I told them to go check every corner of the house. What didn't they see? Calabash, talisman, guards at different strategic locations. Imagine under the bed, everywhere, and my son was living in that house and he didn't know all this. Anyway, that was the end of the rubbish of a marriage. So imagine that I hadn't interfered. Do you know that this silly girl went to tell some people that I hated her so much that I lied on her, set her up and arrested her? Joyfully, Anifiok got married again in 2022 to a very good girl. So they will say that mother-in-laws are bad. But you see the girls on the streets now? Run! Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Mrs. Iang, for writing him. I understand how it feels for you to want to protect your child. I remember a video I saw on Instagram about a lady who said she had been in the occult and she was talking about a guy that broke her heart. and she was determined that she was going to finish that guy, like maybe kill the guy or something. And then she said that she leads, I think she leads a march, and she took a paper, and that paper, you know, was supposed to catch fire, but it didn't. And so she tried it many times, but every time she tried to strike the match and, you know, ignite the paper, it did not. So eventually, I think she was told by maybe the people in the occult or something that the guy could not be touched. And the reason why the guy could not be touched was because the guy had a praying mother. The guy had a praying mother. The mother was always praying for him, so the guy couldn't be touched. So, on that note, I want to encourage parents to continue to support their children in prayers from when they are very young. Shout out to my friend Wally Uku, who is a convener of a prayer platform that I belong to. And there was one day she was saying that we should pray for our children, we should pray for their spouses in the future. She will say things like, even if your child is a baby, it is not too early for you to begin to pray for your child's spouse. It is not too early. It doesn't matter whether your child is a baby or not. Begin to prophesy into your child's life that your child will meet the right person. It is very important. Those prayers are very important in these days. Never underestimate the power of a praying mother. So I believe that mother-in-laws should create a balance. Don't be overbearing. Give the couple space and observe from afar. And when you feel that it is important to step in, step in. But please, do not lord it over them. Don't cause unnecessary trouble in their house. Be true to yourself. I also believe that you should do a proper investigation of the families that your children are going to marry into. Do a proper investigation of the family and of the person that they are going to get married to. Very important. Very, very important in this period. Very important. It is something that every family should do. Thorough investigation. There is nothing like it. What your child cannot see because your child is blinded by love, you should be able to see it because your eyes are wide open. So investigation is very important. Guys, what do you think about Mrs. Iang's story? Let's meet in the comment section. So next time when I come your way again, my name remains Busola Daily Davids. Bye.